Hello guys, today I'm testing the GH5 versus GX80 in low light situation because the GH5 has 20 megapixel sensor and the GX80 has 16 megapixel sensor. So with the sensor with a small, less density, less resolution, perform better in low light. Will it make a difference? 4 megapixels. So we're gonna find out, and we're gonna set ISO at maximum 1600 and same lens setting, like same aperture and all standard profile in 4K. And GX85 will punching a little bit, 1.1 times crop in 4K, but I guess it doesn't affect the low light testing that much. So anyway, right now this is GH5 footage. We could zoom in a little bit. Now this is the GH5 zooming into 25mm at 5.6 aperture. Alright, right now I'm gonna switch over to GX80. Okay, right now I'm shooting with the GX80 4K 24p, same setting, nothing's changed. Well, the lens is not a great lens. It's a kit lens, 12 to 32mm variable aperture lens, but I set the same aperture on both cameras, so it shouldn't be a problem here. The image from the monitor looks a little bit dimmer, a little bit darker. The shadow is really crushed, and then the black is really crushed. I don't know. We'll have to see on the computer to see which one is better. And now I'm gonna zoom in to about 25mm. Okay, right now it's at 25mm. As far as I can see, it looks darker than the GH5 footage. So I don't know, maybe it could be the metering setting, or how the camera adjusts to the highlights and stuff. But nonetheless, it gives you a sense of how much noise it creates. Also, and as you can see, this camera haunts a little bit more in low light, I guess. The autofocus is a little bit lacking when the image is really dim. Alright. As we can see here, side by side, the GH5 indeed performed a little bit worse in terms of low light. The noise is more pronounced, and it's just generally the GX85 just looks much cleaner, but it does look a little bit like it has applied some sort of noise reduction. I tried to lower the exposure to see if it makes a difference, and the GH5 footage got closer to what it looks like on the GX85, but still you can visibly see the noise even when I lower the exposure overall. So yeah, I guess GX85 performs a little bit better in low light. At least this is it's not a scientific test. It's just for run and gun shooters who shoots automatic or aperture priority and those stuff. The very casual shooters. It might make a difference. GX85 performs just a little bit better, although the autofocus is really terrible. I don't know which one to choose. I guess in the end it doesn't make a huge difference when you upload to YouTube. It pretty much is gonna be the same. Yeah, that's it. And of course you can always achieve a better image quality in low lighting, even extreme low light situation like this, with just a little bit more care, a little bit more attention to the detail when you're shooting. There's always a way to achieve a clean image if you really want to. Alright, that's it. Alright guys, I actually messed up because I actually had the highlight shadow setting set at highlight -2 and shadow +2 on my GX85. And I thought that was why, but it actually doesn't make sense, because this is a low contrast setting that you should have a you know, show more information in the shadow, but the footage came out, you know, all the shadow are crushed and everything is dark and black, so it doesn't make sense. So I reset the setting at, you know, 0 0, no change of the highlights or shadow at all, and I shot the same clips and they look identical to the previous footage. So I suppose it didn't make much of difference, or maybe it just doesn't affect 4K video at all. I have no idea what was going on, but anyway, either way, change those settings or not, you get this kind of footage. Kind of looks like noise reduced. You know, everything's kind of artificially smoothened. You don't see much noise, which is kind of if you like this kind of look, it could be nice, but it really depends, right?